If you have ever felt like you don't have any special talents in life or special gifts or things that just like come super easy or naturally to you, meanwhile, it feels like everyone else has found their special talents and gifts and they're honing in on them, and you're just kind of sitting here like, where is mine? You are not alone, my friend. You absolutely do have special talents and gifts. You just haven't found them yet. You probably just haven't been exposed to them yet. It can be really hard living in today's society with social media, where you can see people running marathons, reading an entire book in a day, knitting scarves and selling them on Etsy and having a thriving Etsy business, decorating their homes like they're a professional interior designer. On top of that, just the general professional athletes, singers, songwriters, movie stars, comedians. It just feels like constantly we're seeing people who are such experts in their field. And it just feels like I'm not an expert in anything. I don't know what I'm really good at, what I could do to monetize something. We've all had these thoughts, and I'm going to break down how that can be you and also why that isn't you yet. So, in our childhoods or school age, I feel that we've all been exposed to people who just seem to be so naturally gifted at sports or theater or music, or they're just like really artsy, like they can paint, they can draw, kind of those general fields, right? So there's always those type of kids getting awards for things. They're the top of their class. They got, the best artwork, best photography. They're the best in the state at track and field, football, whatever. There are these general big categories. And so if you're like me, where honestly, very blessed, very grateful, because I do feel I was fairly good at a lot of these areas. Like, I mean, I had to work really hard for it. I would constantly be studying and practicing sports and things like that. But I feel I was generally pretty good at a lot of things, but I was never great. Or if you're not like me and you're like, no, I wasn't even good at these things, like I sucked at them, that's fine too. We're still in the same boat, trust me, because we carry this common feeling of, I'm not extraordinary. I don't have anything that's setting me apart. I think it's common nature for humans to want to shine, to be recognized, to be validated. And no one wants to really ever feel mediocre. And so a lot of us have spent a big chunk of our lives feeling that way. And I think a huge reason for this is because we've only been exposed to these like big, general, common areas of life. I don't even know really what to call it, but like career fields, or just like almost your subjects from school, right? So history, science, arts, music, gym, or sports, where if you just didn't feel that you really resonated or shined in any of those, then that's kind of it. But there's so many areas of life that school, traditional school, doesn't expose you to. So, for example, many of the trades, carpentry, construction, welding, electrical work, you could be seriously so talented in something like that, like building your own woodworking shop or just being a really good electrician. But because you were never exposed to that in regular school, you have no idea. Or like being a therapist. What if you're a really good like therapist or life coach, but you don't really get practice like that in school? Maybe you're just really good with your peers. Like any of those jobs that you just didn't even know existed until much later on in life, that's what I'm talking about. Personally, when people are like, "Oh, what did you want to do as a kid?" I have no idea. I don't have one memory, or even like a fraction of a memory of me being like, I want to be a veterinarian, a scientist, like nothing. And I think I'm 33 now, but it's like, I think it's because I'm learning what I want to do in life isn't on paper. It's not something that you go to school for, or at least it's not something that I was like exposed to in school and is like, this is what you want to do for your life? And I'm still trying to figure out what exactly it is that I do want to do, but I'm getting closer. And so I just think it's really harsh when we compare ourselves to people who have found those talents back in middle school or high school, even elementary school. Like maybe they were really good at like painting or drawing, or they were the star of their basketball team, things like that, or the top of their class. Here's the thing: when you're exposed to that stuff when you're really young, and then you find, okay, maybe it's like easy for you or you like it, or, and maybe both, you get recognition by your peers or by adults who say, like, wow, you're so good at this, you're so talented. You're going to want to do more of it. That's, again, we all want to shine, we all want to stand out. So these kids who had that exposure to whatever their gifts are in school and then got recognition for it, they're going to do it more and more. They're going to be practicing it more and more. So they're going to be enrolling in more classes, like art classes, if that's their thing. Or if they're really good at a sport, they're going to constantly be playing that sport, practicing it, probably enrolling in that sport, even in the off season. So they're constantly, again, practicing it. And if they're just really good academically, they're going to want to keep that performance up. So they're going to be studying harder. They're going to be going to office hours, doing everything they can so that they're at the top of their class, they're shining. And so if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, maybe even older, and you're comparing yourself to your peers who are also the same age as you, and they're like really good at these things, and you're still wondering, like, why am I not that good at something? Well, they've had 20, 30 years of experience already because they started when they were a child. Whereas if you're just kind of finding out what your talent or talents are, you're starting out as if you're a child again. Like, for example, I never considered myself a crafty, creative, artsy person whatsoever. But the past few years, I started furniture flipping, and just as like a side hustle to make some money. And now it's so funny because my friends and family will be like, oh my God, Sarah, you're so talented at this. You're so good at this. And again, I don't feel that I'm really that good at it, but because I have like 2 years experience, whereas they have 0 years experience, I already look so much better because they don't know how to do anything furniture flipping related, whereas I have 2 years experience. So I know more than they do. And I've had so many other experiences in my life like that where it has helped me break down this myth of like, oh, I don't have any talents, I don't have any gifts. Or not that I don't have any talents or gifts, but anything that really like sets me apart, makes me shine. I'm learning it's just what you practice. Yes, there are things that some people find easier or they enjoy more than others. And personally, I don't really love the furniture flipping. Like at first I was like, oh, this is cool and exciting and new. But I kind of learned early on that I was like, I don't want to do this as a full-time career. But I did love that feeling of like, wow, I'm actually pretty good at this. I can make something look really amazing. And that was only about like a year's worth of experience in. And now it's been 2 years. And I feel if I did this for 5, 10 years, I would be crushing it. I know I would absolutely be able to have a pretty successful business in this. Do I want to do that? No. But it just goes to show the idea of natural talents gives us this false feeling or belief that we're just going to know what this talent is or these gifts are. And I just don't agree with that because I think you have to really go out there and just explore things. There's so many things out there in the world that are not tied to just like your school subjects that you can be good at. And also, when you find those things, you have to practice it. Even think of running. Like running to me is like there's professional runners, but as humans, we all know how to run, right? Like no one's taught us how to run. It's just a natural ability that we all have. Yet there are still professional runners and people who are really good at it. And yes, these professionals probably enjoy running, but they're also practicing. They're not just like sitting on their couch and like one day just deciding, oh, I'm going to run a marathon and crush it. Like, no, they're out there training. They are still honing in on that skill. And so I'm just such a firm believer that you can be an expert at anything you want to be. You just have to keep practicing it and honing in on it, and you will shine and you will set yourself apart. So, whatever it is that you've been thinking about that you're like, oh, I do really like this, but I'm just not that good at it, keep working at it. You will get better. There is always a learning curve with everything. And just for the sake of time, I wanted to break this video into 2 parts. So, if you've been enjoying this and you also want to find out in more detail how to find those hidden talents, I'll link my other video where I go more in depth and in detail there. So the link will be in the description below. Okay, thanks for watching. Take care.